like rules. Actually, I've never liked rules. I would tell everybody by the time I was 5 years old that I am the boss of me. Teachers didn't like that very much. And they called me a bad kid. I prefer strong and opinionated. My school had a kilometer club when I was 6 years old, and I joined. I made a goal to run as many kilometers as I possibly could. See, I had these people in my family who were runners, and I was like, they have no rules. They can just go anywhere. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I need to be a part of this. And so I made this goal, and in my first year of Kilometer Club, I ran 200 kilometers. This is a time before maps and GPSs, so they actually had to be there with me. Pretty cool. And I decided that I loved to run. There was no rules. I could go as far, as fast as I wanted. It was awesome. Basically, I am a superhero. And it felt amazing. And then things started to slowly change. First, my body changed. And I would look in the mirror and say, why did I have to have those legs? And I'd look in the mirror and I'd see my freckles and I'd say, why did I have to have spots all over my face? And then my school changed and my friends changed, and it seemed like my world kind of got turned upside down. And I was really worried about how to fit in. Who am I? And the thing was that PE and running became really uncool. Actually, it became the thing that was the subject that was most skipped by girls in high school. I thought, how interesting. Here I'm trying to fit in and be myself, and the thing I love most is uncool. And it turns out that I'm not alone. Between the ages of 12 and 19, 64% of girls are considered inactive. That is a pretty big number. And I felt scared and unsure and not really understanding what to do about this. And it turns out that at the same time, our confidence is going down. Our IQ scores are dropping. We're less assertive, we're less confident, and that's part of being a girl. Lucky for me, I kept on running. So my parents encouraged me, instead of sending me to my room, they'd say, go for a run, Ashley. You'll feel better. And I did. And it was amazing. Because I have this thing I call the scribble in my head. It's colorful, it's bright, and it never stops talking. And sometimes that scribble gets quite dark. And a couple years ago, I started experiencing this anxiety in a deeper, darker kind of way. The kind of way where you don't want to sleep and you don't want to eat. Or you want to sleep until all your problems are gone, hopefully, or not wake up until they are. Or eat until there is no food left in the house and hope that every bite takes a little bit away from that problem. I felt trapped and scared, and I didn't really understand what was going on and why a bubbly, awesome person like me could feel this way. And a video came across my social media, and it was a girl, she's telling her story. And the story gets a little bit more depressing as she goes on, and she doesn't talk, she's just showing these cue cards. And she talks about being bullied and feeling alone and being depressed and being anxious. And I felt myself reflected in that story. I knew exactly how she felt. This is a story of Amanda Todd. And she was local. And sometimes when we're dealing with anxiety and depression, you isolate yourself mentally and physically. And she brought it back home for me. And I thought, how could this 15-year-old girl commit suicide? That is not fair, and it's not cool. And so I created a program. I used all the skills because I knew that when I felt best, when I got out of that dark anxiety and got out of the scribble in my head, was when I was running, was when I was with my community and they would show up for me and I would show up for them. So this program is about connecting girls with girls. We connect high school and university students who have been through the body image and the bullying and all that stuff we go through. And we connect them with tween girls, ages 8 to 12, when we're at our most vulnerable stage in deciding who we want to be. And so this program is a 9-week program where girls come and they get to build their confidence. They get to connect because we know that girls that have mentors are 2.5 times more likely to feel confident and feel like they can be successful. And I think that's pretty awesome. So they train to run a 5-kilometer fun run. And I use running very lightly because running can be hopping, skipping, jumping. It can be anything that you think feels good. And that's what we call our happy pace. And so we teach girls to find their happy pace. Because anxiety is not just about me and it's not just about Amanda. It's about everybody. It's something that we all deal with on one scale or another. But imagine feeling anxiety all the time. So you might get it if you're preparing for a test, or you might get it if you are preparing for an event of thousands of people. But imagine having it and not having the tools or the language to be able to talk about it, or the tools or language to know what's actually happening. So running is not even about running. For me, running is about our mental health. Mental health is something that we all have. It's not bad, it's not dangerous. Basically, if you're human and you have a mind, then you have mental health. And it's something you need to take care of, like brushing your teeth. Running is the most easily accessible, underutilized tool we have to build positive mental health. But when I tell adults that I'm a runner, I get one of 2 responses. One, I love to run, perfect, let's go. When can we train? Right, let's go. The second one, oh my gosh, I hate running. I have an injury, I don't have the right body type. I don't have anybody to go with. The list goes on. I think it's about changing our perspective, about taking a different look about what running really is. And for me, it builds so much stuff, but 3 things in particular. Confidence. So when you run, you feel good about yourself. You can build your confidence, and you can take that outwards, and you can build a community of people who are going to support you because they understand who you are. And concentration. So we can get back down to our IQ scores and concentrate on focus on what's really important and get out of the scribble in our head and actually understand what we want to do. I want to share a really quick story with you about a girl who joined the program. And her name is Nicole. Nicole joined the program not because she liked to run. Actually, her mom told me that Nicole hated PE. And Nicole had been bullied in grade 3. And in grade 4, she was dealing with mean girls and frenemies. And so if you don't know, frenemies and mean girls are your friends sometimes and not your friends other times. And Nicole joined the program because her friends joined, which is often why we do a lot of things. But Nicole made a separate commitment. She showed up every week, and she worked, and she learned, and she ran. And what I love about Nicole is that by the end of the 8 weeks, Nicole had not only built enough confidence to run in a 5-kilometer fun run, but she was now going back to PE and competing against the boys. I think that's pretty awesome. And Nicole's an inspiration now. She's joined her leadership group at school. And she chooses her friends based on who she is. And she has friends from all over in different groups now because she knows who she is. So any action or movement, it starts with one step. For me, that step starts in my running shoes. And I choose to get up every day and go for a run. Sometimes it's a dance party. Sometimes it's a run. Sometimes it's more of a hop, a skip, or a jump. But I go because I know that I will be less grumpy, more kind, more calm, and more able to commit to other people when I run. And I hope that maybe I can inspire one girl to be active because she might inspire one more and she might inspire one more. And the current 11% of girls that are currently active right now, considered to do enough physical activity to benefit their health, that are 16 and 17 years old, that 11%, that number is going to change because of that one girl. So that girl can be who she is, and she can build her confidence because she feels good. I was at an event last month, and I asked 300 people, mostly adults, who was active when you were 10 or 12 years old. And all these hands shot up. I was like, great. And then I asked them, who still does those activities now? And all these hands kind of came down. Because if girls are not active by the time we're 10 years old, you only have a 10% chance to be active when you're 25. That's a pretty low number. So sometimes I am all dressed up in my running clothes and I'm ready to go, and I'm sitting in my car at home and I'm like, oh, I'm too busy, I've got lots of things to do, I don't have time, but I need to go. And I just sit there, and if I can't make myself go, I call my bestie and I tell her what's going on. I might feel a little bit anxious, and she says every time without fail, Ashley, you need to go take that first step. You take those first steps and you go for 5 minutes. And you don't have to go far, and you don't have to go fast, but you need to go for 5 minutes. And I say, okay. And she says, you can go that 5 minutes, it might turn into 10, and it might turn into 20. It might turn into an hour. It really doesn't matter because there are no rules. But guaranteed, those first few steps are going to make you feel better. And those first few steps, they might actually change your life. Thank you.